Hello, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank you for taking time this morning to participate in our Mesh Student Management Systems and Ezypay webinar. Ezypay is the leading cloud-based and subscription-based payment platform in Australia. Mesh Group and Ezypay recently established partnership, which has enabled us to build the integration between the two systems. From Mesh Group, we have Binod, our consultant, who will talk to you more about the integration, and myself, Jordan. I'll be the person assisting you with any integration sales related inquiries moving forward. Now, from Ezypay, we have Andrew and Georgia and Jess, who will be talking to you about Ezypay features and benefits. So let's make your life easy with Ezypay. And on this note, Andrew and Georgia, please feel free to present Ezypay.
Thank you, Jordan. That was quite the introduction. Good morning and welcome to everyone today. I'm Georgia, Partner Manager for Mesh at Ezypay, and we're so pleased that you could attend. I'm particularly excited about today because I've been working closely with Mesh for quite some time and on this webinar, so I'm particularly pleased to see that this has finally happened today. A little bit about who we are and what we do. We're an award-winning automated payment service provider who specializes in one-off and recurring payments, payments for short courses, recurring payments for longer courses. We've partnered with some of the best tech platforms, Mesh included, to ensure that we assist and deliver seamless payment solutions for your business and for your students. So with Mesh, you manage your students, their courses, and now you can manage student payments all in the one platform, end to end. We established ourselves in the health and fitness industry 27 years ago, and we continue to dominate that industry with recurring payments, but now we've expanded in other key industries like edutech, proptech, and childcare. So 27-year-old Australian company, we operate in over 8 countries, across the APAC region, so we can help you expand if needed. And we have won prestigious awards within the FinTech Australia, and considering the amount of payment service providers that exist here in Australia, we are honoured to be currently nominated for 2 awards in this year's FinTech Australia Awards, known as the Finnies, with nominations in Excellence in Establishing Global Market Presence and Excellence in Payments. What Ezypay does is, subscriptions are hard. There's a lot of effort required with doing direct debits. We're here to make it easy. We're here to reduce and mitigate manual processes, and we have incredible collection rates through flexible payments and invoicing, seamless failed payment handling, industry-leading security and compliance, and I'll go into a little bit more detail on that. So we do reduce those manual processing associated with payments. Traditionally, RTOs would have to manually monitor each payment, managing payments on an Excel spreadsheet. Someone in a corner allocated a resource to manage payments. They're manually uploading a daily BEX file for disbursements. They're chasing failed payments. Ezypay eliminates that manual labour and resources allocated to collecting those payments and disbursements, and we automate those payments in an efficient and an effective way. You can now manage your payments in one payment provider, not necessarily managing multiple payment providers. You can do it with one payment provider. We assist with reconciliation with easy reporting that can be uploaded to your Xero. So now you can manage your students and we will manage your payments. We do have industry-leading collection rates. So we do have flexible payments. We'll collect your recurring payments for student payment plans, and we'll collect one-off payments like a short course. We'll accept direct debits via a bank account or credit card. We've got processes in place to assist with those failed payments. Statistically, there's always a percentage of failed payments with debits. Card can be expired. There's insufficient funds in the account. We have processes in place to minimize those failed payments, increase the cash flow for your business, and will minimize chasing those failed payments, which is very time consuming. We've also got cutting edge security and compliance in place relevant to Australian and local banking rules and regulations. But on that, I will pass it on to Andrew.
Hey, Georgia, thanks. Welcome all. My name's Andrew. I'm CIO here at Ezypay. And Jordan, thanks for the introduction as well. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail around some of the, I suppose, the important options when you choose Ezypay, or the important features that we provide around here. Georgia's already mentioned a few of those. I'm going to go into detail here. Major cards are accepted. That's a given. We are always looking at different payment options to be able to use at Ezypay. Last year, we just moved into South Korea. Again, Georgia's mentioned the regions we operate in. That was an amazing success. It's been some significant growth just in the last 6 months when we moved into that region. In terms of other payment options that we accept, we are one of the first payment companies in Australia to accept Pay2. You'll hear a little bit more about that, in the press in the coming months as, the banks and the other businesses start adopting Pay2, which is different to PayID, but we can definitely answer any questions around that as we move on. High collection rates, really important. It's one of the it's the core of what we do at Ezypay around improving those collection rates. Having recurring direct debits, we are able to achieve higher collection rates. Example being, we can process without expiry dates on some cards. We also use card schemes network tokenization. It's a changing kind of, I suppose, environment around options that card schemes provide at the moment. Network tokenizations is something that we do. It's nothing that you as a business or Mesh as a business needs to change in the way that you send us invoices. And network tokenization basically means that if a cardholder updates their card and it's through the right card scheme, we have the right details on hand straight away. Secondary payment methods, as it says there, we have a number of different options. The main one here that's connected with Meshed is the ability to update payment method when a failed payment occurs. Customers will be able to make those changes through a pay now failed payment email. So there's some really flexible ways that you can use Ezypay that's embedded already with the Mesh platform. We talked about failed payments. I said it's the heart of what we do. I'll talk a little bit more around that process. This is where we can reduce those manual processes that you may have in place already around collections. With that process that we have in play, and I will go into a bit more detail further down, it can sort of increase your revenue. An example being, just in the education space in March, we had a first collection rate of 93%. With some of the processes and automation that we have in play with our existing businesses, that collection rate increased to 96%. So that's that, 50% of failed payments, can be successfully collected after that initial try. We will send regular reports showing your collection rate data, just so you can keep track of those as well. We've talked about manual processes. We talked about doing the hard work for you. We set up automatic retries. We set up, based on different failed payments, we will do those retries for those failed payments. And your customer can also contact us at any, we have a contact center between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, and that's open 5 days a week. In terms of your business, your terms, you have a lot of different configuration options that can be set up when you first sign up. You can have the ability to retry, different times of the day. There are different configurations, configure options to allow your customers to pay for the fees, or you can have the business absorb those fees. So there's a lot more flexibility that is offered by using an Ezypay account on that front. Next slide, please, Georgia. Fantastic. I know that a few people have mentioned security and information security is very topical at the moment in Australia with the amount of data breaches that's occurring. It's becoming a bit of a regular news article at the moment. Security is at the forefront of what we do. We're a PCI level 1 service provider certified. We get externally audited. The data is important. Our data centers are located and hosted with AWS and have multiple redundancy zones. They are located here in Australia. So, data is safe on that front. Again, we've mentioned our different countries, and the part of that and part of the complexity that we can simplify is a lot of the, I suppose, local regulations and compliance. So we stay on top of that. We have a dedicated team that looks after our compliance aspect, and dealing in 8 different countries. They're always kept busy on that front. Rest assured, we do have that regular compliance. We use external security providers to ensure our systems and environments are safe and secure. So, at a fundamental level, as customers, enter their payment details in, that's hosted on our secure payment page. It's stored in our vault, it's encrypted, and it's in that PCI secure environment. I will spend a little bit of time just running through the integration, because I know there was a few questions during the pre-registration stage around how this was going to work, and Binod will go into a little bit more details around the actual functionality. At the very high level, I suppose, all payments are set up enmeshed. The customer payment method and the customer information is entered through a hosted payment page. From there, Mesh sends us invoices, and that's received by Ezypay to be processed. We'll then process that, and that's that middle section there. We'll process that on the scheduled day. We'll process that with the banks. If it's successful, that's the happy path. Funds are then ready for settlement, and that's the path going upwards there. Settlement essentially is when money's transferred back to the business. Settlement can be, you can choose between monthly or weekly settlement options. So there are, again, a number of different options when you receive your money for the collections. I've talked a lot about failed payment and invoice collection. So there are a small percentage that fail, and this is where some of our automation and automatic processes come in play. So if the payment does fail, and that's the path going down, we'll notify the student or the customer via an email or SMS. And within there will be a Pay Now link where they can make that payment and pay the outstanding amount. Seamless, simple, it's all secure, it's all online. The information is safely secured. They can then choose to pay it with the same payment method that they originally entered, or they can even update it. So we can go into more detail later on if need be. But again, lots of options. We do retries as well to be able to recollect on those, and they can update payment methods. So that's that failed payment process there, and that's all kind of done within the Ezypay ecosystem. Throughout this whole time, we're updating the Mesh platform with statuses around how that journey's gone for that invoice. Reports can be easily obtained through the Mesh platform. And also at the end of when settlement does occur, Ezypay will send a settlement summary and a report so that you can see what's being transferred into your bank account. So that's on a high level, the integration, everything, we we aim to create a single, fully integrated experience within Meshed, and that's what we've done with this integration.
Next slide.
Next slide. Thanks, Georgia.
Thanks, Andrew. Just to wrap up, why choose Ezypay? We're established. We've been around for 27 years. We know payments. We do have coverage across 9 markets in the APAC region. If you are looking to expand, we're here to eliminate and reduce all those manual processes allocated to payments. We provide more payment options with one payment provider. It is an easy sign up. So if you do plan to proceed with an application, it is a short application. You're looking at around a maximum 2-day turnaround for an approval. We'll provide you with those live credentials. We've got a support team here to help with any inquiries, whether it is onboarding, customer support, once you've been onboarded, and yeah, faster merchant onboarding. We've got processes in place to ensure you're up and running quickly. We do have an offer for all merchants that have attended the webinar today. If you do decide to apply with Ezypay, we have within 30 days of this webinar, we will waive load fees for the first 3 months of billing. There are T's and C's applied to that. Billing must commence within the 15th of August this year. So for more information, we do have a landing page, ezypay.com/meshed. For more information on Ezypay, if you'd like to apply, if you'd like to view rates, all our information is on that landing page. And that is it from us. Over to you, Bernard.
Okay, thank you, Georgia. Hope the information was helpful. So now let me start the presentation from my end. Hi, everyone. My name is Binod Silva. So today I'm going to walk you through the Meshed integration with Ezypay platform. So today I'm going to talk about overview of the integration process, configuration and rules for the automation, student Ezypay account, invoice processing, and the reports we have. And we are also happy to answer any questions if you have in the meantime. Please feel free to drop your questions in the chat box. Overview of the integration process. So as you all know now that we have already integrated with Ezypay, which is a popular payment platform. So this integration will allow you to create Ezypay user accounts from Meshed system. Record the payment method. Obviously, students can record the payment method in Meshed system. Either can be bank account or the credit card information. Providers can mark the invoices as Ezypay invoice. They can choose which invoice they want to send to Ezypay, which they don't want to send to Ezypay. Automation to push the invoices to Ezypay and then pull back the payment or the statuses from Ezypay to Meshed. Tracking of those invoices, where the invoices are at, what are their statuses, and then if any failed payments or retries need to be done, all the tracking can be seen. If any payment is successful, then we bring back the settlement status and then settle those invoices in Meshed. Can either be automatic or we can also do it manually. And some of the reports that we fetch from Ezypay directly through an API, and then we can see what are the information in the report as well. So configuration and rules for automation that we require from the providers. So first thing, we need few details from you like merchant ID, username, and password so that we can set up the integration at our end. Once it's set up and then it's ready to use, we will need for the rules for the automation to happen. So those rules will, like some of the rules are what time of the day you want to push the invoices to Ezypay. It can be once a day. From what date onwards you want to start the engine to run. Before how many days of the invoice date you want to push the invoices to Ezypay. That's like standard for all of our integrations. So similar to that, we want this rule from you as well. Trigger time to get the settled transactions from Ezypay to Meshed. That's again the time that you want to bring back the settled transaction from Ezypay to Meshed. That can also happen once a day. And if you want to attempt a retry automatically, you can set up how many number of retries that you want to set up. As you will know a bit later, so that retries will incur or may incur additional costs. So you can configure that cost to be paid by the students or the providers, so that you can configure it at Ezypay end as well. So student Ezypay account, how do we create them? So there are some prerequisites to create the student Ezypay account. First thing, MEST needs to have the student portal enabled, and then student account must be created in MEST system first. Once that's done, MEST system will check if the student has a valid mobile number and a valid email address or not. Once that's there, then it will allow the providers to create the student's user account in Ezypay. So providers can create the user account from two sections. One is from the student management homepage. You can just simply create this Ezypay tile, or you can also create Ezypay account from the student profile summary. There's a button to create Ezypay customer number. Once that's done, you will get notifications saying that your Ezypay account has been created, and this is the CRN number. Student will also receive an email from the system saying that your Ezypay account has been created. You can go and record the information. So this is the email that that can be configured as well. So the template can be redesigned, or the body can be written. The template can be modified from our predefined template list. So once the student Ezypay account is created, student can log into their MEST student portal. They'll see the Ezypay tile in that portal, and then from that Ezypay tile, they can configure their bank account details or credit card information. So this page actually sits in MEST platform, but actually is hosted by Ezypay. So all the information recorded in this section are stored at Ezypay's database, not in MEST system, because we are not PCI compliant, and then that's why Ezypay will host this page, record all the information in their database only. Student can either choose to set up their bank details. They need to have BSP number, account number, and holder name. Or they can also select to go for the card information. They can select their credit card information as well. So after they save their bank account or payment information, they need to go and agree to the terms and conditions. Again, these terms and conditions are directly hosted by Ezypay team. So this can this can be managed from Ezypay side as well. We are just displaying it in our platform. It will also have Ezypay details, and then a customer contact center or customer service number as well. So once that's done, if a student at any point of time they want to update the payment method, or they want to switch the payment method from one method to another one, they can always go to the student portal and then select to update the current method, or they can also record a new method as well. But at a time, there can only be one payment method, because that's the actual one source of truth for the direct debit arrangement. So once the student Ezypay account is created, so in MEST system, the invoice is created. So it can either be coming from the automation, or like automatic intake payment plan, offer letter payment plan, and so on. But when the invoice is created in MEST, providers can select to flag those invoices individually to push to Ezypay, or they can also select, there's an option under the student payment page to do it in bulk. So if you do it in bulk, for that student, you'll see all the invoices listed and their current status as well. So if you want to mark all the invoices in bulk, you can do it so as well in this section. Once the invoices are pushed to Ezypay, the color will change. So it was gray before, now it's orange. So the color will also notify the status of Ezypay, if it has been already pushed to Ezypay or not, if it is marked or not. So you can also determine based on the color of the icon. So once it's flagged as Ezypay invoice, it can again be unflagged at any point of time, but that should be that's only allowed until the invoice is processed to Ezypay actually. So once the invoice is processed to Ezypay, you cannot unflag it anymore. So this is what it says. If you try to unflag it, it will give you the notification saying that this invoice has already been pushed to Ezypay, and this is the current status as processing, or whatever the actual status is. Then you cannot unflag it anymore. Also, once the invoice is processed to Ezypay, you cannot update the invoice amount or the due date. So if you want to update these details, the only option is to delete them. And to delete as well, there are some limitations because we simply cannot allow to delete the invoices just like that. It needs to be under either unpaid or past due category to delete. I'll talk about delete feature in a bit later. So once the invoice is pushed to Ezypay, student can also see those invoices and their actual statuses from the student portal. So this is the view of the student portal. Student can see what are the Ezypay invoice statuses. And then once it's pushed to Ezypay, now that we have finalized that there is a direct debit for these invoices, student will no longer see the pay now option in their portal. So there are a few statuses in Ezypay that we maintain in this integration. So all of these statuses have a meaning. The first status is unpaid. So when the automation pushes the invoices to Ezypay, and then if it's not due for settlement, then the status will remain as unpaid. So you will see all those statuses. You can see what is the actual status in Ezypay. So if it's like future due or not due yet, in that case, the status will remain as unpaid. So next one is processing. So once the unpaid invoices are sent for processing at Ezypay end, that means like those invoices are now processed for the bank to deduct the payment, then the status will have processing status. Ideally, the invoice will have processing status on the due date or the processing date. In MEST, we usually term it as a due date. The third status is past due. So I think Andrew already mentioned about this past due invoice a bit before, that invoice can fail due to number of reasons. Some of them are like incorrect payment details, or the payment details has expired, bank may decline the payment, and so on. So if, due to any reason, if payment fails, then the integration will bring back the past due invoices to MEST so that you can also see. Andrew also mentioned that once the status is like the payment is failed, then student will receive an email, and then they'll also be able to pay now at that very point of time. Or you can also settle these invoices in MEST manually after this one is the status is past due. The next status is paid. So if any invoice is paid in Ezypay successfully, then we will get the paid statuses. But once the invoice status is paid, then the provider should wait for the settlement to happen automatically. So that means after the payment is done, I think Georgia mentioned earlier that it may require up to 2 business days to settle those invoices. So in that case, the provider should wait for the invoice to be settled in MEST. The last status we maintain is settled. So everything is done in Ezypay, payment deducted, provider received the payment, and the invoice is recorded as settled in Ezypay. So we bring back the settled flag to MEST system, and then the invoices are also recorded as settled. So once they are recorded as settled, you will see that the Ezypay tile will disappear, and then the payment mode will be recorded as Ezypay. So once it's again recorded as Ezypay, if any payment is coming from Ezypay, you won't be allowed to delete that payment in MEST system. This is just to avoid the data security and then data integrity. So next thing is retry. So what happens if a payment fails? So if any payment fails and then sits as a past due invoices, then you can manually retry the payment. So you can again click the invoice Ezypay invoice icon, and then you will see this option as retry. So just to let you know, retry may incur some costs for the student and provider. As I said, again, you can configure the setting at Ezypay, whom to charge the retry payments and all. So you can do the retry function in MEST system as well. Once you do the retry, it will again send the invoice to process at Ezypay end. The next option is to manually collect any payment or mark the invoices as collected. So if an invoice has been sent to Ezypay, but the student pays like by any other means, then you can always come in MEST and then click the Ezypay invoice. It will open up this page, and then you can mention the collection payment method and then mark the invoice as collected. Once the invoice is marked as collected, then we will send this flag to Ezypay, and then that invoice will also be settled at Ezypay. So whatever payment method you select here, it will also be the information will also be sent to Ezypay as a memo. The last option is to delete the invoice. So there is a limitation on this feature, because if any invoices are deleted just like that, then it will create a lot of other issues. So we have limited this delete feature only to be available when the invoice status is either past due or unpaid. So when the invoice status is past due, you will be able to delete the invoice in MEST, or when the status is unpaid, then you will be able to delete the invoice in MEST. So once these invoices are deleted in MEST, then we will send the write-off flag to Ezypay, and then if any invoice sits in Ezypay that has been deleted in MEST, that will also be written off. So there's one small tick box here, sync with Ezypay, which is synchronized by tick by default. You need to make sure that this is ticked so as to reflect the same in Ezypay platform as well. Also, write-off may incur additional cost. So to see what the integration is doing, to see the statuses of the invoices, you can refer to some of the reports that are available in MEST system. So first one is transaction report. So you can run this report from MEST system, and these information are coming from API directly. So these are not actually information from RT Manager, but coming from Ezypay's end through API. So you can use this information to reconcile with MEST system. So this transaction report, we have all the information about the invoices, their amount. If any additional charges are laid, then you can see those charges as well. What are the statuses of these invoices? This will give you all the detailed information. Second report is merchant transaction report. Again, this report is also coming from Ezypay, which is like similar to the transaction report, but it will have some other additional information like account code and other user-friendly terminologies and column headers, so that you can export this report and use for reconciliation. Last report that we have is settlement report. So we again get the date range from you. It can only be 90 days date range. So within this date, we will fetch the settlement data from Ezypay's API and then show it in our platform. So this report will have the settlement status, settlement payout method, and other amounts associated. So these reports are referencing purpose only, and then you can get this information in real time from Ezypay's end. So these are the integration features that we have currently. If you have any questions, then yeah, you can feel free to let us know. And then if you have any other additional requirements, then we are always happy to look after them as well. Thank you for your participation. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. That was a great presentation. We do have some questions through on the chat. So what happens if a student wants to pay before the due date?
Yeah, in that case, as I mentioned before, so if student wants to make a payment before the due date, then we will have the status as unpaid. So in that case, providers can take the payment, record it in MEST, and then they can mark as collected for that invoice in the system. So it will also be marked as collected in Ezypay.
Yep. There's a zero, someone's got a Xero integration. How does this work with Xero? Does it integrate at all?
The source of truth will be MEST in that case. So if any payment is happening at Ezypay and then the payment comes back to MEST, then the payment again is recorded at MEST platform, and then we have to send those payments to Xero platform. There's a bulk feature to send the payments to Xero, but we have to use that. It doesn't automatically flow back to MEST, the payments especially.
Okay. Is there a bulk retry option?
We have a automation for retry. Actually, you don't even have to do it manually. So you need to set up the number of retries. Like you can say that, for example, you need to retry it for 3 times. Then you can set up like you need to let us know that you want to retry for 3 times. We'll set up at our end, and then the system will automatically retry.
Just in addition to that, Ezypay can also set up the automatic retries as well. So we have rules on our end to be able to retry as well. So that sounds like it's a double whammy.
Yeah.
Are we able to process refunds for settled payments?
Refunds actually has to be handled manually for this integration. because the API is not allowing us to process the refund. So yeah, the refund has to be handled manually. This is the only thing that is out of scope of this integration.
Are you able to change or delete a future payment schedule, for example, if a student has withdrawn or cancelled from their course?
Yeah, again, it's all based on the status. If a student withdraws the course, in that case, if the invoice is due in future, it will be sitting with an unpaid status, and those can be deleted. But if it's already processed at Ezypay, then it's not possible to delete.
And Binod, my understanding as well with the integration is you can define the number of days before the scheduled date to send to Ezypay. So I guess based on how much time before, is a configuration option. So example is you can choose, Binod, again, correct me if I'm wrong, you can choose to send invoices that are due the next day. So if that's the case, it's only people that were in the previous day that will process, or you can choose a week if you want. So if it's in a week, then that's enough.
Yeah, we will get those rules. Yeah, we get those rules from the providers. So yeah, that can be configured.
Is it applicable for initial payments from offshore applicants?
It is possible, but the thing is, the payment will be processed in Australian dollar. So currency is a dependency here. So we cannot process it in any other currencies. It has to be Australian dollar, but can be processed for offshore applications as well.
Yep. So we don't have any restrictions on the Ezypay side around overseas cards. We don't accept overseas bank accounts, but in terms of overseas cards, if it's a valid credit card, then there's no issues at all on that front. Just our experience with overseas cards, if I could just shed some light around the payment space, there generally is a higher failure rate for debit cards, overseas debit cards. So our rule, we don't have any restrictions on it, but the success rate on those aren't as great. So credit card overseas, they're generally the way to go.
Okay. Daniel's posted a few questions. If a student has paid by a credit card and wants the money back on that card, it sounds like refund's not an option through Ezypay. And ad hoc student payments, can they be added in Ezypay only and not through Meshed?
The integration follows all those setups. So we don't have a portal or a separate payment page on Ezypay to take those once-off payments. So all transactions and payments and invoices need to come through Meshed platform.
Okay, and one more from Gina. If a student is overseas and pays the fees, does the provider need to confirm the student first in Meshed and then send the invoice to Ezypay?
Actually, it depends on what stage that invoice has been created. So yeah, it's the invoice needs to sit first at in student payment section in Meshed. That means student must be confirmed first.
Okay. Well, I think we'll close it off here. The presentation deck will be shared out to everybody that has attended today. So thank you, everyone. Jordan, do you have any closing remarks?
Hi everybody. Thank you everybody for the time. That was absolutely fantastic to know all about Ezypay, about Mesh Group, about the integration. Look, if you have any sales-related inquiries about the actual integration, you can contact me directly. So yeah, thank you again for your time.
I was actually going to say something. I may have seen a comment around pricing, and I just wanted to address that. Something that I probably didn't cover off earlier. We don't charge an application fee. We do not charge a monthly fee either. We charge per transaction, and that transaction is configurable to be paid either by the RTO or by the student. And I just wanted to make sure that that was clear. But for detailed pricing, it is on the landing page, which is ezypay.com/meshed.
Thank you, Georgia. In regards to pricing related to the integration, we can talk with each individual client.
Yep, looks like that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate your time.
Yep, thank you everyone for joining today's
you.
session. If any questions, you can always reach out to us. If you have questions related to Ezypay, you can contact the contact center as well. And we're happy to answer all your questions. Thank you for your time, and we'll be sharing this webinar link to all of you. Yeah, hope to speak to you soon. Thank you guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.